Hi, boys and girls. This is Miss Judy. I just want to say hi and see how everybody's doing. I hope you guys are well. Um, I thought that since we may not see each other for a little bit, since there's still no school, I thought maybe it's a good idea that I could share a storybook with you, just like when we have circle time. So here's a little story that's one of my favorite, and I hope you like it too. And here's the book. It's called Horton Hatches an Egg. And it's about an elephant who is going to sit on an egg, and he's going to be a really, really good friend, just like you guys are good friends. So I hope you like the story. So here it is, okay? Horton hatches an egg. Sighed Maisie, a lazy bird hatching an egg. I'm tired, and I'm bored, and I have kinks in my leg from just sitting here day after day. It's work. Oh, how I hate it. I much rather play. I'd take a vacation, fly off for a rest, if I could find somebody to stay on my nest. If I could find somebody, oh, I'd fly away free. Then Horton the elephant passed by her tree. Hello, called the lazy bird, smiling her best. You have nothing to do, and I do need a rest. Would you like to sit on the egg in my nest? And the elephant laughed. Why, of all the silly things, I don't have feathers and I haven't wings. Me on your egg? Why, that doesn't make sense. Your egg is so small, ma'am, and I'm so immense. Oh, tut tut, answered Maisie. I know you're not small, but I'm sure you could do it. No trouble at all. Oh, just sit on it softly. You're gentle and you're kind. Come now, be a good fellow. I know you won't mind. I can't, said the elephant. Oh, please, begged the bird. I won't be gone long, sir. I give you my word. I'll hurry right back. Why, I'll never be missed. Very well, said the elephant, since you insist. You want a vacation? Go fly off and take it. I'll sit on your egg and I'll try not to break it. I'll stay and be faithful. I mean what I say. Toodly-oo, sang out Maisie and fluttered away. And there she goes. This bird flies away. I wonder if she's going to come back soon. The first thing to do, murmured Horton. Let's see. The first thing to do is to pop up this tree and make it much stronger. That has to be done before I get on it because I weigh a ton. Then carefully and tenderly, gently he crept up the trunk to the nest where the little egg slept. Then Horton the elephant smiled. Now that's that. And he sat, and he sat, and he sat, and he sat. That's a very big elephant sitting on that egg, yeah? And he sat all that day, and he kept the eggs warm. And he sat all that night through a terrible storm. It poured and it lightened, it thundered and it rumbled. This isn't much fun, the poor elephant grumbled. I wish she'd come back, 'cause I'm cold and I'm wet. Oh, I hope that Maisie bird doesn't forget. Poor Horton, sitting through the storm. But Maisie by this time was far beyond reach, enjoying the sunshine way off in Palm Beach. And having such fun, such a wonderful rest, she decided she'd never go back to her nest. Never? So Horton kept sitting there day after day, and soon it was autumn. The leaves flew away, and then came the winter, the snow and the sleet, and icicles hung from his trunk and his feet. But Horton kept sitting, and he said with a sneeze, Achoo! I'll stay on this egg and I won't let it freeze. I meant what I said and I said what I meant. An elephant is faithful 100%. Poor Horton. He is frozen. Look at all the the icicles coming down. Have you ever been that cold, guys? So poor Horton sat there the whole winter through. And then came the springtime with troubles anew. Because his friends gathered around and they shouted with glee, "Ha! Look, Horton the elephant, he's up on a tree!" They taunted him, they teased him, and they yelled, "How absurd! Old Horton the elephant thinks he's a bird." Ha! They laughed and they laughed and they all ran away. And Horton was so lonely, he wanted to play. Oh, but he sat on that egg and he continued to say, "I meant what I said and I said what I meant. An elephant is faithful 100%. And you know what? Horton never moved from that egg. No matter what happens, this egg must be tended. But poor Horton's troubles were far, far from ended. For while Horton sat there so faithful and so kind, 3 hunters came sneaking up softly behind. And what are they carrying? Oh, no, 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 no. Let's see what happens. He heard the men's footsteps. He turned with a start. 3 rifles were aiming straight at his heart. Do you guys see the rifles? Did he run? He did not. Horton stayed on that nest. He held his head high and he threw out his chest. And he looked at the hunters as much as to say, "Shoot if you must, but I won't run away. I meant what I said and I said what I meant. An elephant is faithful 100%. Whoa. But the men didn't shoot, much to Horton's surprise. They dropped their 3 guns and they stared with wide eyes. "Look," they all shouted, "can such a thing be? An elephant sitting on top of a tree? It's strange, it's amazing, it's wonderful, it's new. Oh, don't shoot him. We'll catch him. That's what we'll do. Let's take him alive. Why, he's terribly funny. We'll sell him back home to a circus for money." And the first thing he knew, they had built a big wagon with ropes on the front for the pullers to drag on. They dug up his tree and they put it inside, with Horton so sad he practically cried. "We're off!" the men shouted, and off they all went, with Horton unhappy 100%. Up out of the jungle, up into the sky, up over the mountain 10,000 feet high. Then down, down the mountains, and down to the sea went the cart with the elephant, the egg, the nest, and the tree. Then out of the wagon and onto a ship, out over the ocean. Oh, what a trip! Rolling and tossing, splashed with the spray. And Horton said day after day after day, "I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. Oh, but I am seasick 100%. After bobbing around for 2 weeks like a cork, they landed at last in the town of New York. "All ashore!" the men shouted, and down with a lurch went Horton the elephant, still on his perch, tied onto a board that could just scarcely hold him. Bump! Horton landed, and then the men sold him. Sold to a circus. Then week after week, they showed him to people at 10 cents a peek. They took him to Boston, to Kalamazoo, Chicago, Weehawken, and Washington too, to Dayton, Ohio, St. Paul, Minnesota, to Wichita, Kansas, to Drake, North Dakota. And everywhere, thousands of folks flocked to see, and they laughed at the elephant up on the tree. Poor Horton, he grew sadder the farther he went, but he said as he sat in the hot, noisy tent, I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. An elephant is faithful 100%. Then one day, the circus show happened to reach a town way down south, not so far from Palm Beach. And darling, along way up high in the sky, who of all people should chance to fly by but that good old nothing bird runaway Maisie, still on vacation and still just as lazy. And spying the flags in the tents just below, she sang out, what fun, while I'll go to the show. And she swooped from the clouds through an open tent door. Good gracious, gasped Maisie. I've seen you before. And poor Horton looked up with his face white as chalk. He started to speak, but before he could talk, there rang out the noisiest ear-splitting squeaks, 'cause from the egg he sat on for the 51 weeks, a thumping, a bumping, a wild alive scratching. My egg, shouted Horton, my egg, it's hatching. But it's mine, screamed the bird when she heard the egg crack. The work was all done. Oh, now she wanted it back. It's my egg, she sputtered. You stole it from me. Did Horton really steal the egg from her? Get off of my nest and get out of my tree. Poor Horton backed down with a sad, heavy heart. But at that very instant, the egg burst apart, and out of the pieces of red and white shell, from the egg that he sat on for so long and so well, Horton the elephant saw something whiz. It had ears, it had a tail, and a trunk just like his. And the people came shouting, what's all this about? They looked and they stared with their eyes popping out. Then they cheered and they cheered and they cheered more and more because they'd never seen anything like that before. My goodness, my gracious, they shouted, my word. It's something brand new. It's an elephant bird. And it should be like that. Because Horton was faithful. He sat and he sat. He meant what he said, and he said what he meant. And they sent him home, happy 100%. I hope you guys enjoyed this book, and I hope you're all doing well. So I will be posting this on YouTube, and hopefully you could get a little story time out of it. And if there's space for feedback and comments, you could post it. Ask your mom to help you. But I'd love to hear from you guys. So take good care. We'll see you soon. Bye.